The most controversial of all recently has been Beyoncé in her Cowboy Carter era. Now, when this first came out, this album cover first came out, I was like, confirm, Beyonce's a Republican. That was all I needed to see. And you know what? I could be completely delusional, but I still feel like she secretly leans conservative and only plays into the woke progressive stuff for the power that the left wing gives her. I really could die on that hill, but we're not going to have that discourse today. What we are going to have discourse about is just the whole fight around whether or not she is patriotic or if she is anti-American, because there really seems to not be an in-between. And I can understand why. And a lot of y'all were dragging me by my scalp for the fact that I went, but just know I would do it again. And I would serve looks again because I looked good. Okay, not to be cocky, but I was looking good at that Cowboy Carter tour. Okay, can we get into this fix? Oh yes, I had to order the drip from the UK, get into that blue, the electric blue velvet with the white piping and the ivory hat. I served looks. I did what I had to do at the Cowboy Carter tour. And shout out to my friend Chet who got that suite for us. And it was just an incredible time. But what I will say is I didn't know what to expect. I hadn't seen too many clips outside of the clips of Blue Ivy Carter from the show. So I didn't know if this was going to be this overly political, nauseating experience or if it was going to be, just enjoying the music, because I'm a big believer that you can, to an extent, separate the artist from their artistry. Like Beyonce can be as woke as she wants. I'm still going to like her music. I hate to say it, but it's like, I've just grown up with the music. I'm not going to sit here, be fake and act like I don't listen to her music. I enjoy it. And that being said, I went, and this is a clip from how the show started, which threw me off even more about the direction it was all going to go. Jimi Hendrix version of the national anthem. It says, never ask permission for something that already belongs to you. And then she goes into her own song. So that's all we need to play, because if I start dancing, y'all are never going to forgive me. So basically when the show started, like one of the first songs that they played was the national anthem, which at first I was shocked, because mind you, I was at the Washington DC show for this, and I was so impressed. Like, okay, she's doing the national anthem, but then she started doing a distorted version, which to me gave the energy, and she also skipped over, Land of the Free, Home of the Brave. That was a political statement while being subtle. So I didn't know, like, is this whole thing going to be political? Because if so, I was going to leave and be nauseated. But it wasn't over the top. I will say that. It was predominantly a combination of like these pro-Black and Western themes, really. These pro-Black Negro spirituals that were vague but artistically alluding to social issues in America, but again, didn't get too nauseating. But all the reason why, because some of y'all are probably like, why are we talking about Beyonce? All that discussion to say is there was so much controversy just about what she was wearing. So if you saw, she was wearing this like very American themed outfit, and here is a video that explains just some of the issue that happened there.
Okay, let's talk about something, because I really don't understand the latest Beyonce hate and controversy. So the past couple of days over on Twitter, I've been seeing this discourse about Beyonce's American flag aesthetic. Certain people were calling it weird, inauthentic, hypocritical, her being a nationalist, and oddly, I've been seeing a few comments about her being a Trumpy, when that's crazy, because we seen where she stood this past election. They were saying, why is she always wearing and draping the American flag on her, when wasn't she protesting a few years back, and why is she supporting a country that's constantly oppressing her people? Just a bunch of stuff. And the reason I'm confused is because I'm like, well, I thought the message of all this was clear from jump. You can tell who's actually listened to Cowboy Carter and who hasn't. You know what I'm saying? Because it's obvious to those who listen. And there's two replies I've seen over there that really breaks down my understanding of what I always thought the reason Beyonce was giving us all these American flag aesthetics was for. The left is mad, MAGA's mad, but let's be clear. We built this country. We are American. We don't have to like everything about it, but this is our shit. I love that Beyonce is unapologetically showing that you don't get to erase us from the flag. Some of y'all need to wake up. One of Beyonce's goals with the Cowboy Carter tour is to say that the American flag and standard American images belong to all its people, not just the white elite nationalists. Only through her costume, she is challenging whitened ideas of those who are allowed to be seen and understood as American. That's what's confusing me, because that's always been my understanding of what the American flag aesthetic was for anyway. So anyway, let me know what y'all think about this controversy that's going on right now. And also let me know if you're coming to the Atlanta show this weekend, because if you are,
Chad, that's enough. Okay, so in the Atlanta show, ironically, is where she got robbed. Yes, Beyonce's team got robbed. Her dancers had their SUVs broken into. Atlanta, you're never beating the ghetto allegations. But that being said, you know, one of the posts that was on there was low-key accurate. Beyonce managed to anger both sides. You have the left wing that is mad that she is giving patriotic. Then you have people on the right that are irritated because she's perpetuating this narrative that people on the left and progressives are being erased from American aesthetics and are erased from the American flag and all of that mess, which I find that to be baffling that continues to be a narrative, because nobody has ever tried to erase another side from being able to be patriotic. If anything, I feel like conservatives desperately want conservatives, leftists, and liberals to love being American. Like, especially if you're a liberal, because if you're a liberal, you're all about liberty, and what country better represents liberty than America? So my hot take on this is the fact that Beyonce was accidentally patriotic. Because, hear me out, leftists and woke people are a part of the American DNA. They are just the part of the DNA that you don't necessarily want to pass on those genes. Leftists and woke people are basically the DNA gene that gives you a unibrow. And to be honest, I kind of want to disconnect it. But But all that to say, they are part of the DNA. You know, I always say that when I'm talking about liberals and leftists and progressives, even if I disagree with the entirety of your ideology, I will fight tooth and nail for you to be able to have the opinions that you want. Okay, outside of y'all trying to do weird stuff with children, I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. But when it comes to, you know, just having a different ideology, a different perspective on taxes and government size and all those different things, I may think you're wrong. In fact, I know you guys are wrong on a lot of things, but the ability to be wrong is a part of the American DNA. You know, I was somebody that used to be a liberal, and even when I was a liberal, I never wanted to silence the other side. I wanted other people to, I always wanted there to be compromise and growth, and for us to be able to come together in certain things and to progress as a society. So when I say that Beyonce is accidentally being patriotic, what she's inherently doing by telling people to wear the American flag, and that even though she's out here, you know, standing on drowning police cars, if you guys remember the Formation music video where she was making a stand against police brutality, you know, as much as I think that this is reckless, as much as I think this is dangerous rhetoric and a dangerous thing to perpetuate, you know, it's like, for the sake of the artistry, I understand it. And if that's your view, you have the right to have that view in America. So for her to kind of teeter this line between I'm proud to be an American, but I'm also protesting the status quo of America, that is inherently as patriotic as it gets. That is inherently the American spirit, whether you like it or not. What Beyonce has done is she has gotten Black people and the LGBT community to embrace country aesthetics and country roots, which are inherently conservative. She has people who were so anti-American all the last 4 to 10 years to now suddenly wear the American flag, and they are reclaiming their place in America. And I find that really funny, but you know what? If you are, all I'm happy is to hear is that you are claiming America. Okay, the only part of the message that I truly, truly disagree with is the fact that you ever had it taken away from you in the first place. As she says up there, you don't have to ask permission to have something that's yours. Correct. And you already, even if you are a leftist or a progressive or Black or LGBT, or you name the victim bingo Olympics that you're a part of, regardless, you are a part of the American ethos. So what she is doing up there, I think, is accidentally patriotic. And, you know, progressives really started viewing the flag as hateful because conservatives love America so much. And I just find that to be simultaneously terrifying and heartbreaking. I'm just glad to hear that there's a little bit of change in perspective on that.